point to a very like particular moment in my career on a very particular issue that I don't think changed my entire outlook on product in any way, but it definitely changed it on the issue of what to do and what you should focus on and what you shouldn't. And there are only so many hours in the day. So just pretty early in my product career. Shortly, I would say within the first year of that move I spoke about earlier from under the EVP of marketing. And the head of product, not even the EVP of marketing, but the head of product at the time, we, in one of our weekly team meetings, opens the meeting in a just state of clear frustration and anger and says to us, gotta be honest, guys, if I hear one more account executive praise one of my product people, I'm gonna lose my freaking mind. And she pauses and stops. And she knew, she's not stupid. She knew this was going to be a surprise to us. And we all were just like, wait, what? Well, isn't that a good thing when we're helpful people and we're supporting our counterparts in the client success function? What? And she continued. And the point she was making is the reason that this is pissing me off is, my opinion is that if you are helping an account exec so much so that they feel the need to come tell me about it, that you have spent too much time in a support role and not enough time getting your butt out into the field and understanding our marketplace. I do not believe that you can do both at the same time unless you're not sleeping. And that washed over us, and the point was taken. And that was a big moment for me too, because her point was even, and she went on to talk to us more about this, but the point she was actually making is pick and choose your battles. The product role, and I just sort of touched on this, is so broad. There are so many things you can do in a given day. So many different activities. You will be pulled in many different directions. You might be asked to do a demo of the product. You might be asked from an account rep to answer a question on, hey, is this normal product behavior? You might be asked, hey, can you get on a call with one of my customers? They're really confused about something and they need training help on it. And I don't know the answer. Can you tackle that? To writing your requirements, to answering a question from QA, to answering a question, the CEO's feedback, all of this. It's just so many groups within your organization will want something from you. And the point is to remember what your job is and how you're going to add the most value and focus on those activities. And I'll go back to what I was just saying. So for example, if what you're doing is not about driving a really, really strong roadmap that you can defend, that is designed to drive revenue and retention, don't do it. If it's not about you figuring out how to design a product that will meet the needs of that marketplace from like the design perspective, requirements, wireframing, business rules, that kind of, requirements, don't do it. That's kind of the point she was making to us, is remember what your job is. Remember what your reason for existing is. Really more to the point, remember what your priorities are. And, ultimately what she told us to do is, of course, someone very quickly raises their hand and they're like, okay, but what do I do when someone from account services emails me with a question? Okay, I mean, what do you want us to do? And she had actually pretty simple answer. Okay, that actually to this day, I follow this guideline generally speaking, and I tell my teams to do the same thing. She basically said, unless they have VP in their title, I want you to ignore every first email. Just ignore them. Don't answer them. It was fantastic. I was like, my mind was blown that she was giving us this authority. And she was really cool too in that. And I do the same thing now as a product leader, and I have people on my team. She said something really great to us. She said, and if anyone ever gives you grief about that, to the point that you're like, you need any support, deflection, you just point them in my direction. I will defend you. I will tell them that it was, I told you to do this, and I will take ownership of that, and that's that. Now, she just said, remember, they VP in their title, answer the email. Okay, because I trust that they're only going to email you with things that are actually important. Those are the people that understand filtration, that understand what's important and what's not. anyone lower than that, all they're going to want to do is they're going to be lazy. They're going to ask you because it's the fastest and easiest. It's the path of least resistance for them. Think of it that way. Don't answer the first email. We're like, okay. And then when they email back, she's like, fine. If it's so important that they emailed you a second time, fine. Go help them. That I'm okay with. That means, because to me, you want to know what happened between emails 1 and emails 2? I guarantee you that about 90% of the time, they went in, they tried to figure it out themselves, they reached out to other people, they asked their other AEs, they did more research themselves to try to figure it out, and they failed. And now they really do need your help. And this is now it's in your arena of there aren't resources other than you for them to leverage. Now it's time for you to get involved. That's the process. I loved it. I was just like, that's fantastic. I mean, I love the tactics. I love the message that we need to we're not a support role. Product managers are not, okay, tech support, customer support, internal support, whatever you want to call it. They are not the end all be all of a dumping ground of, I don't know where to take my needs. That's product management. Happens all the time. Doesn't make it right. Just because it's normal doesn't mean that it's right. And at the end of the day, we as product people are just as busy as anybody else. I'd like to make the argument that we're busier than the average employee because the breadth of our responsibilities are such that we have a lot on our plates.